You're tired of making the same old turkey and ham for Christmas? Larry Mislove from the Madison Diner is here with some holiday inspiration. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So what are you going to be making for us here?
We're making some stuffed manicotti. It's going to be stuffed with a braised pork.
Okay.
And then on top of the manicotti, we're going to place this cherry chipotle marmalade, so it's kind of sweet and spicy, which will go along well with the pork. And then we have some mascarpone cheese on top of that. And then also made some grits. So they're kind of spicy. It's a hot grit. It's got a little jalapeno, a lot of pepper in it. And we're going to put the grits on the plate as like a side dish. And then I have some of this braising juice over here, the sauce from the meat that's cooking up. So what we can do is we're going to add a little wine to this to reduce it down a little bit.
So would you start with the sauce?
Yes.
What's the first thing you want to start cooking?
The first thing you need to start cooking is the braising sauce. It's carrots, celery, onions, garlic, tarragon, thyme, wine, some chicken broth. And so you get that cooking for a while. And then what I do is I use like a western rib, a pork western rib, and cook the western ribs for 3 or 4 minutes, and then just kind of brown them a little bit in the sauce, and then add a little more wine, maybe a little more chicken stock, and cover it. So it's a low level of sauce. Then you let it cover and it braises and cooks for hours until it falls apart. Okay. So what you have is some good meat like this, some nice pulled pork.
Yes.
And what I'm going to do is stuff it in the manicotti shell.
Okay. And the manicotti shells take, I'm assuming, about 10 minutes to
Yes, 10 minutes. You want to boil them, and then I'm going to do this with my hands. It's going to be easier. You want to boil them for about 10 minutes. Then when they come off, we're going to cool them off right away.
They get sticky when you let them sit too long.
Right. But you let them cool off, and then we'll keep them warm in the oven.
Yeah.
So there's not any, so they're not cooking anymore.
So what I think is interesting is, as you were telling me, you don't put the cheese inside.
No, the cheese is going on top.
Usually you have it with cheese
inside. It's a soft, creamy cheese. The mascarpone cheese is a soft, creamy type of cheese. So we'll lay this on the plate, for instance.
Okay.
Then we have the grits here, which I kept warm in some styrofoam.
And you said usually the jalapeno, because the grits I've had before doesn't usually have a kick, but you were saying you add the jalapeno to give it a little bit of
a Most
kick.
People assume, they think of grits as a dish with that's like a breakfast food, but really they're delicious as a side dish. You can make them 100 different ways, but a lot of people associate grits as a breakfast food, so then they get turned off about it. But it's good for breakfast. It's delicious for dinner. The sauce has the wine's reduced down a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of this on top of the grits.
Okay. And grits, for people who may not be familiar with Southern cuisine, like myself, we were just talking, at first I thought it was a potato because it looks just like mashed potatoes, but it's corn. It does,
corn, right. Grits and polenta are the same thing. Then this is a dried cherry and chipotle marmalade that I made. That'll go on top, so that'll give it a nice sweet and spicy kick to the pork. And then this mascarpone cheese, a little dollop of that on top.
Well, see, I like a lot of that. Feel free to put a lot of that on.
So you'd have that. Wow. So you got a sweet cheese, and then on the grits, that's kind of a savory grit with the braising sauce on top. Nice red wine goes along well with it.
And this is the same cooking wine, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So it's great. It's an all-around
nice dry
easy
wine.
Dinner.
I use Pinot Noir, which isn't so dry, but I like to drink it. So one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And normally I would put 2 out here, but
they're a little sticky.
A little sticky. Have a little trouble.
We get what you mean.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and that's it. It's a delicious dish. It takes a little bit of time, but it's well worth the effort.
Yeah, it looks great. Well, Larry, thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You too.
And you can get Larry's recipe on our website. Just go to WCPO.com and click on the lifestyle section, and then click on food.